confidence is not a fluke. Confidence is a choice, and it begins with your mindset. In this podcast, you will get all sorts of mindset tools to help you reduce self criticism and overwhelm while increasing your empowerment and courage. I am passionate about helping women decrease their mental drama and increase their self awareness while leaving behind all the perfectionist tendencies. We do so by empowering ourselves one episode at a time. I am Olga, your host, former therapist, life coach, blissfully an IVF mother, and this is the Journey to Happy podcast. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Journey to Happy podcast. Before I begin with today's subject, which I am very happy to talk to you about because I am actually, as I'm recording, feeling this blah feeling that is so not foreign to any of us. We all feel it, but we all desperately want to get out of it. And I have found a better way. And I'm going to tell you that. But before I do any of that, here's what I want you to do. If you enjoy these podcasts on a regular basis, if you enjoy my company, my thoughts, my ideas, my coaching, I want you to sign up for my newsletter. So head over right now to the show notes. The first link you will see is the one to join my newsletter. I send newsletters on a regular basis with a lot of cool tips. I also send you these episodes reminders when they are released. And so I want you to be in that email list to be the first one to find out when I release workshops or free lunch and learns, when I give out free guides of mindfulness or how to reduce anxiety, any of the freebies that I give only to my newsletter followers. So I want you to sign up right now for my newsletter. The link is in the show notes. Get over there and then come back and listen. Okay. Why do we feel blah sometimes? Well, I think that it is impossible to always feel a certain way, to always be on a high, or to always be on a medium, or to always be on a low. We're constantly interchanging how we feel. The body needs to reset, the mind needs to reset. So you might be on a high and you know all the things you're doing that are keeping you on a high. I certainly make all my clients become aware when they're having such a great time, what is making it be so great. And I also make them aware to, or want them to be aware when they're not on a high. What is making them not be on a high? And that awareness allows you to inform yourself in future feelings, how to increase, boost your energy, and how to get out of maybe scenarios where your energy is being drained. So for the last week, I'm recording this on a Friday. For the last week, I can confidently say that I've been feeling blah. And I laugh a bit. I'm not laughing, but I think it's funny because that is often the word described by many of my clients when they reach out to me and say, I've been feeling really blah. And I'm like, yeah, it's not. I've been shielded of that feeling for a long time. I feel that I'm so dramatic that I'm either really happy or really sad or really upset. Like I feel that I feel extreme emotions. And I could so relate to all of my clients who on, occasions feel blah. It's not high, it's not low, it's just there. It's like a lack of motivation. So here's what I've done, and I'm gonna walk you through those 4 steps that I think are the better way to cope. Now, what I've seen my clients do when they're feeling blah is definitely what my brain also wanted to do. And so the way in which you probably are trying to solve the feeling of blah is by fixing it, by getting rid of it, by assuming there is something wrong and trying to get to the core issue of what is wrong with me. And once you figure it out, you're going to solve it. The problem being that if you begin to search for answers, assuming there is something wrong with you, your purpose here becomes to not become wrong, like to fix the broken piece of you. And it's less about the understanding of what might be happening to you what might you need from you to you. Okay, so these approaches are a bit different what I'm going to be teaching you from what you probably are used to doing. What I see my clients do, one is panic because they assume something must be wrong with them. And by panicking, then they're in this catch 22 where their stress is high. They want to look of solutions. They can't think of it because now they're stressed out, they're low energy, and they have low motivation. So they normally reach out to me and they say to me, like, what do we do? This sucks. I feel like none of the tools that you've taught me are working. It feels like nothing is good enough. Like I'm feeling very dramatic. Like this might be end of my own self work. Like they're walking backwards. So I want to walk you through what I think is a better approach to feeling blah. Like every emotion, feeling blah is neutral. It's not good, it's not bad, it's neutral. And I think often when we assume feeling blah is bad, then we have a whole other set of emotions to manage with that. Not only are we feeling blah, we're now also feeling like we that this is bad, that we're feeling the bad feeling. And it's not pleasant. So I think it's important to recognize feeling blah is not a pleasant feeling. I much rather be happy and energetic and motivated. That's my preferred state. Turns out that my body needs to go through different stages, different states, different emotions. And it's up to me to welcome them or to refuse them. Okay. All right. So the first step that I want to walk you through is to become aware. Anything that you do with me when I am the coach, I'm going to grow your awareness. And that's very simple. I think that if you're not self-aware, your chances of implementing change are reduced to their minimum expression, close to none. So first and foremost, I want you to grow your capacity to notice things, to observe them. And here's the thing, you currently probably are very observant. You noticed, wow, I've gained 2 pounds. Oh, I had a hard time sleeping last night. I had a hard time talking to my boss. I'm not feeling that comfortable today with my husband. Like you probably noticed these thoughts, but you do one of two things. You judge it, jump into fixing mode. Why am I feeling this way? Or you ignore it. Oh, well, move on. And so it's almost like you didn't become aware. Like that awareness did nothing for you. So I don't ever like wasting observations. So what I'm inviting you to do when you're feeling blah is to notice that you're feeling blah, to notice the extent in which you are feeling blah. And what I did ask myself, what is going on with me? What would have brought me to this feeling blah? And you might remember that I always say no feeling comes without a thought. What sort of thoughts have I been having lately that have led me to feeling blah? And quickly, my beautiful brain was giving me a list of thoughts that I've been having lately. They're actually not motivating. I have thoughts that lead to disappointment. I have thoughts that lead to sadness, to nostalgia. I have thoughts that lead to tiredness. I have thoughts that lead to feeling old. So I am about to turn 40, and that has brought a lot of thoughts in my head from how much longer do I have with my parents? Totally random to what does that mean for me and my body and my health? Like I'm making this 40th birthday mean like I am 80 or something. So it is a milestone and there's a whole lot of perception that I have to break down there. So I had a lot of compassion. Oh, you've had a hard, you know, hard thoughts and they're bringing you to feeling love. I've also observing without judgment, just really just asking my mind, like, what must have brought me here? What have I been thinking? I was able to also pair this feeling with tiredness. So over the last 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago, my son was really sick for 7 days with a fever we couldn't control. He wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping. Couple of visits to the hospital. Finally, they figured out that he had a double ear infection. Then he had antibiotics. Then he didn't like them. So it's been 3 weeks of being taking care of somebody so intensely that the taking care of myself has been reduced. It's been there. but reduced. My sleeping has been reduced. So suddenly I begin to understand a bit. Oh, okay. So it's totally normal. I'm tired. When I'm tired, my thinking capacity lessens, my stress increases. I'm also about to get into a milestone birthday that I may or may not have added big, important thoughts to. And so that all happened under observation. I was observing me. During that observation, I noticed urges within me to fix it or to be totally dramatic and going to a black or white. This is never going to change. It's done. And I just noticed them. I didn't react to any of them. I didn't make changes. I didn't do anything. I didn't fix nothing. I decided to stay as this observant. Like watching a movie, you don't change the movie lines, you just let it be and you notice it. But I took notice of the things I wanted to do. I wanted to eat more, or I wanted to eat less, or I wanted to not move. So I went to see my personal trainer down in my garage. I have a virtual personal trainer. We train through WhatsApp and it's amazing. By the way, love him. I went on Monday, I went on Tuesday, and I noticed both of those mornings were really hard for me to get up. I wanted to sleep longer. I wanted to go to bed earlier. I didn't want to work out at all, not even a little bit. There was no thought crossing my mind that gave me the motivation to say, yes, this is going to get okay. This is going to be okay. Go and move. None. So I listened to that. And what I see my clients normally do, and certainly what my brain had an urgency to do, an urge to do, was to force myself to find the energy to do the thing that I normally do because that's the right thing to do. And what I did instead is I made changes to my daily routine so that it would match my current energy versus forcing my energy to be what is not to keep up with the things that I normally do. And that was and has been life given. It's because it's come from me and I've given myself that permission. So I canceled all of my other personal training sessions. I slept in. This morning, for example, I didn't even get up to do my son's breakfast, which is my pride and joy of the morning. I asked my husband to do it. I stayed in bed. I didn't even come down to say goodbye to my son. He came up to me and kissed me in bed, and I was totally okay with that. Mama needed to sleep. Guilt free. I worked strictly what I needed to work. I socialized strictly what I had said I would, that felt good for me. I didn't do much housework at all because it was not a priority in my heart. So my laundry is still waiting. It can wait. I showered twice a day because I wanted to stare at a wall and just feel warm water. I didn't read. I didn't do anything that I didn't feel like doing. I make changes to my daily week, my daily activities to match my blah energy. That's what my body needed, and that's what I did. So we have the notice, they made changes to match your energy. The third thing I do, it was to not judge. God knows my brain wanted to go there. I wanted to be like, but why? Is it because I'm turning 40? I'm now losing all strength? Oh, because also I had really weak strength this week in my workouts. I couldn't lift, felt exhausted, and I was taking my supplements and I was thinking, but what? Why? How? What? I wanted to ask why. Why am I feeling this way? Why am I not energized? Why am I not motivated? Where did my motivation go? And is it coming back? I didn't do any of that. I wanted to, but I didn't because I didn't want to judge my experience. I wanted to normalize my experience. And believe it or not, the best way to normalize your experience is by you thinking, this is it. This is what I'm feeling. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just it. Not asking why, not judging it, not making it mean anything. Just no meaning. This is how I'm feeling. I'm feeling blah. Own it. Feel it. And that leads me to the fourth suggestion that I want to offer for you today. I give myself permission to feel this way until I no longer feel this way. So I don't have an agenda, which is also what I see my clients do. Okay, by tomorrow, I'm going to feel better. And I had actually told my trainer, you know what? By Friday, I probably want to work out again. Friday came, didn't feel like working out. I'm like, actually, no. And I'll let you know about next week. because I have no idea how long I'm going to feel blah. But I am committed to allowing myself to feel blah. Now, if I had given it a meaning or if I had had an agenda, if I'm still feeling blah by week 2, this is serious. I must address this. There's a big problem. I'll be stressing myself out to get out of here and I'll be on fixing mode. And what I want to be is on processing mode. And to process, I must keep my stress levels low. I must normalize that it's totally human to have moments of bluntness, making a verb out of this word, and that just how it came out of nowhere, it seems, is going to live out of nowhere without me having to make an effort. But be committed to feeling the feeling all the way through. This feeling cannot go away. If you try running, you're going to be more disappointed. Like, I am still feeling exhausted. You're actually, I feel that we prolong the unpleasant feelings when we try to resist them, when we give them a deadline. We do that a lot with grief, with anxiety. We're like, by tomorrow, I gotta feel, oh, by now, like, I gotta get out of here now. But notice the difference that happens within your body and your mind when you're able to say, I'm going to feel this feeling for as long as I feel it. And I know I can trust my body. When my body is done processing this emotion, it's going to go away. End of story. So it's a short episode. I simply wanted to walk you through the steps that I became aware that I was following, which I also noticed were almost complete opposites of what I see my clients do when they're having a blah moment or a moment of just not feeling like themselves. Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. I didn't use words like a feeling, not myself. This is myself sometimes, not often, but this is still me. I own it. It's part of me. And when I say that that I made changes only to match my energy and that I wasn't being judgmental, I also didn't seek out reassurance from anybody. Tell me, is this normal? Has this happened to you before? I want to know. What do you think? Am I a bad mom? Am I a good mom? What's happening within me? I simply told strictly who needed to know. My husband needed to know that I was going to be going to bed early and that he was going to be taking care of some things that I didn't feel like doing, didn't have the energy, nor the desire. And my personal trainer, he needed to know that I was not going to show up in the mornings. I didn't need to make of this something bigger. And sometimes we do that. We call our friends like, there's something wrong with me. I know what's wrong with me. And we think it's going to make us feel better. And sometimes it does. Sometimes we do find the one friend who's like, normalizes it for us. And they're like, yes, I felt the same way. And then we just feel like a million times better. Like, oh, so this happens to other people on a regular basis? Good. But notice how the conversation always turns around around. And how did you get out of that? So I guess my offering here is that there is so much healing and peacefulness in not wanting to change it, wanting to get out of it, but rather just think what is the best way to navigate this season of life for as long as it's visiting me. Okay. I want to leave you with that. I want to invite you to join my newsletter because I teach you little things like this. And I let you know of all the things that I'm doing, like I'm about to teach a free lunch and learn. I won't share with you here because by the time you listen to this, it's been in the past. But I've been doing those lately. I feel really excited to just, when I feel like it, give my audience free lunch and learns. And I don't know if you've been getting my emails or not. I don't know if you're in that email list, but if you aren't, do yourself a favor, join it. All right. I hope you find this helpful for when you're feeling blah. Sending you a lot of love and I'll talk to you guys next Monday. Hey, if you're one of those persons who is always worried about how you are going to be perceived by others, if your life's job is to be a people pleaser so that you're liked by others because you dislike confrontation and being judged by others, I've got an amazing invitation for you. Let's change that around. Let's bring you to a place where you have the confidence to understand other people will judge and that you are still going to be okay. That you're going to be liked by those who are going to like you and you're going to be okay with others not liking you. I want to invite you for 5 days of consecutive life coaching. You and I, for 5 consecutive days, giving you the tools that you need to turn the page from being so preoccupied with judgment to actually gaining the confidence to grab what you need and let go of what does not serve you. If this is for you, join us. It starts September 12th. Currently, you can join the waiting list. As soon as you join the waiting list, you'll be getting emails with fun tips that allow you to prepare for 5 days of coaching with me. Trust me, that week is going to blow your mind and you will be so happy with what you're going to get for $97. $97, 5 hours of coaching, giving you the best tools to turn that page from being so worried about what others think and being so confident about your ability to being okay, not being liked by everybody. It is possible, and I'm going to show you how. Head over to the show notes and make sure you sign up to being on the waiting list. Bye now.